to all of you, and especially our very important guest, Mr. Singh, who has come from Ministry of Steel. Let me just inform all of you that my council was established by the Planning Commission about 27 years ago, and it is the construction industry that we look after. And when we speak of construction industry, bulk of it actually comes from the heavy infrastructure sector. Highways, roads, airports, and whatever you have there. We have been looking at almost all the vistas, almost all the avenues, which basically make the construction industry very, very efficient. Let me also share something with you, very, very interesting, and that was the reason why I thought that I should be here today with you and discuss few things. Number one, construction industry is the net consumer of all the steel products to the extent of 43%. We consume largest quantum of steel and block. Bulk of it actually comes in shape of reinforcement bars, the cold twisted bars that we have. And of course, when one talks about the industrial infrastructure, you are talking about the rolled section. As the things are, the consumption has been steady and we have been consuming it. But I was listening this morning and we were talking about a kind of a total survey that has to be done so that we know exactly how many steel producers, and especially in the secondary sector, they should be there. So my first piece of suggestion to all of you is that please start interacting with Construction Industry Development Council. I must thank IFA for calling me here, and I especially thank APL Apollo, who actually made it possible that I am here today with you. So steel sector is very, very important. I know the kind of problems that it is passing through, especially the secondary steel sector. The primary ones have their own group of 6 or 7 major companies, and they have generally, the control over policy and many other things. But there is a very major disruption that is actually on way. And what is this disruption? And I thought I should give you kind of forecaution. That is something that all of us have to understand. Fortunately, our ministry has started identifying this, and that has started working at it. We are having parlance with them. Matter of fact, on our Board of Governors, we have the representations from many of the primary steel manufacturers, but of course the secondary steel manufacturers still are yet to come and be with us, which is very, very important. We have to make sure that we do not talk about the carbon footprints in terms of the total pollution or carbon residual masses that are left there. What we need to look at the kind of embodied energy that has been consumed, and when one talks about recycling of scrap that you have, that is something that is basically going to be something to your credit. And that is one advantage that you got to take. You have to conduct a survey and you have to know where exactly the small and medium size manufacturers are based. That's a very major issue, although you have the regional association. Another piece of suggestion to IFA is that as the consumers, we know exactly how much steel is being used. That is basically what the function of the council is. We have been responsible for writing 3 national plans, 10th, 11th and 12th. And thereafter, many of the prospective plans under the auspices of Planning Commission and now Niti Aayog, of course. I also had the privilege of having served in 2 states as member of the Planning Board, and the plans were prepared under my guidance for that matter. Construction is important, the steel segment is important, and cement segment is important. Interestingly, the Cement Manufacturer Association, they were the first one to have moved in my office and say that we want to be your member. So I am inviting IFA to be our member and represent the secondary steel sector. Of course, I have number of friends, and especially from Mandi Govindgarh, and I'm talking about none other than Madhav Steel. I hope they have a stall here and they are represented here. They keep on interacting with us on several issues. So we will talk about those things in detail when we talk about the kind of relationships that we have. But let me give you a glimpse into a very major disruption that is going to take place and the heartening thing that your ministry is doing now. Green hydrogen is going to be the fuel of the future. Whether we like it or not, the reliance on fossil fuels, both, I'm talking about the coal as well as our petrochemical products, this is going to wane out. And why it is going to wane out is because hydrogen energy is going to be replacing it. Whether you use it as an additive for the processes, whether you use it as the primary source of energy, and let me share this with you. Tata Steel, very recently in the month of April itself, and I'm sure Mr. Singh would be aware of it, they have used green hydrogen replacing the coal while firing their blast furnaces. And the experiment has been successful. 40% of the fuel was actually replaced. This experiment went on for about 5 days. It is early days for the green hydrogen. But I think this is the time that our steel manufacturers, they must get into this particular area. There is something that is coming to you as a blessing. No matter however small a steel plant is, the fact of the matter is that your plant has been established over 300 to 600 acres of land. So you have huge masses of land. And bulk of the states where you are actually having your establishments, they are very rich in solar energy. In fact, India by 2030, as per whatever discussions have been made in G20, that is going to be the net exporter of energy to the rest of the world. Why would our steel industry not start adopting it? After all, you need renewable energy, you have the solar with you, you can install the wind turbines, and you can meet your energy requirement for that matter, of which you are a great guzzler. That is something that you have to be focusing on. So the time is limited and therefore I am not going to go forward, but then all that I want to share with you, that Koreans are supposed to be, South Koreans especially, they are supposed to be the best in creating the hydrogen generating equipment, the processes. Compared to any of the European countries, it is South Korea who has done the best work. We have entered into a kind of memorandum of cooperation with bulk of the South Korean green hydrogen industry organizations. The agreement has a blessing of government of South Korea, and the nodal agency there is Korea Research Institute of Housing and Settlement, with whom we have the MOU. Subsequent to this MOU, in last 2 months, we have been able to bring in 2 of the state governments. One is Rajasthan, which is richest in solar and cheapest land that is available, and anyone who is from Rajasthan would know what I am talking about. We are talking of only 4 districts: Bikaner, Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, and these are all the bordering areas that you have. Even Gujarat has got a large potential for that matter, but then they have a problem in Kutch and Bhuj that sea water moves in actually and the drainage is not taking place very easily. So here you have a great opportunity. In September, especially on 11th of September 2023, after the conclusion of G20 meeting, we are going to be inviting, and there is a very major event, and I would like IFA to be participating in there and all of you to be joining there. That is going to give you a great opportunity to meet all sides of Korean organizations, to discuss with them as to how you can convert your plants into green energy driven plants. That is going to be something there. So I think today I have to give you this information. The letters will be reaching you from the association very soon. Please join hand, please meet up with us. If there are studies to be conducted, I would suggest Mr. Singh also, who represents the ministry. And there is another information that I would like to give you. Ministry of Steel has the sole distinction of creating a special fund which is valuing almost 465 crores of rupees. And this is to conduct the usages and the research in the green hydrogen area. and
So,
how exactly the companies are going to be
thank you,
replacing
sir.
their processes. So thank you so much. And since this program has been delayed quite a lot, and
Yes.
I already had some fixed up appointment, I'll offer my apologies. Please permit me to leave. And you can carry on with the question. I hope this is not the first and last time we are meeting. We'll be continuously meeting again and again.
Surely,
Thank you
surely,
so
sir.
much. And